TopSpotUSA.com.
Yeah, what's going on? It's Famous with TopSpotUSA.com. You're tuned to TSUSA Radio, and joining me on the show right now is Mike from Marianas Trench. What's good, my dude?
Hello. I am braving a windstorm in Vancouver, and the leaves are slapping me in the face. And what you don't know about Vancouver leaves is because it's so warm, the maple leaves falling are the size of my face. So that's a lot of slapping going on.
Oh, man. Well, I'm in sunny South Florida right now where we don't have any seasons or maple leaf. It's crazy because I always talk to people during these winter months, and they're telling me how terrible the weather is, and they wonder why I'm jealous of that.
No, I get it, man. I would miss the seasons. Vancouver is not that. It's almost like summer, spring, and fall are amazing, and then winter is kind of just like a really wet, cool fall, spring for us out in Vancouver because it just rains a lot. But I like when we're on the road and I see some snow here and there, and I love getting different. Actually, just being able to wear different clothing alone is a good enough reason.
Oh, dude, it's so funny because we go out to shows down here in South Florida, and everybody wants to wear the hoodies and the jeans and the whatever kind of beanie hats, and you look at them, you're like, it's like 95 degrees out. What the hell are you doing? But
yeah, and 6 layers of deodorant in all places.
Yup, for sure.
But I look so cool.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's the look. But anyway, speaking of looks, I don't even know why that segue even goes there, but you guys are getting ready to release Ever After next week. What is the preparation like?
It's funny because we've just been spending the last bunch of months, last 3 months straight in the studio every single day, 14 hours a day. Josh has been there every day, and we've all been going in to help out and do our bits as much as possible. And in the summer, we were doing some festivals around Canada, and then when we weren't there, we were recording. So it's been super, super busy just getting it done. And then 3 days after we got it done, it was off to do the first half of this U.S. Simple Plan tour. Mm-hmm. And now that we're home, it's okay, we'll take a week off. But it's no. We have to learn a couple new songs because, yeah, we got to promote stuff. But we also have to learn a couple new songs because we're going to be doing this live hour special on Much Music in December. But there won't be another chance to learn them. So we're doing that and doing a bunch of press and signing a whole bunch of CDs and blah, blah, blah. But it's good. It's very good that there's excitement and anticipation and stuff going on because I remember the first CD, it was okay, it's coming out in a week. Does anybody care? No!
Yo, I mean, all the hard work you guys, you put into it, you put into your band, you gradually see it grow, and I'm going to touch on that subject. But going into Ever After, talking about this preparation, what is, it's a concept album from what I've heard, but what is the overall theme to this?
It's sort of the idea is, there's a storyline throughout, sort of. I mean, it's not a direct plot from song to song to song, but there's definitely an ongoing storyline, and it's like a dark Tim Burton-ish fairy tale. If you get the album, the liner actually has just a quick, enough that you could fit in a liner fairy tale written, but it's a few pages long, and it incorporates a lot of the stuff from the album, and it's really neat, man. It actually gets that sort of theme and a feeling of a true listening album experience rather than the typical 3 singles and 7 or 8 filler songs kind of thing you get so much today. Mm-hmm. And then even from track to track, it's actually all this one piece of music. There's no breaks in music. So if you listen to it, it's also even more so a listening experience that way. It's actually really neat. A lot of the sort of connecting parts are really wicked. And Josh came up with some amazing stuff on this record. I don't know where it all comes from, but he's pretty crazy writer.
That's cool, man. I mean, I like concept albums as a whole. One of my favorite, even though it has nothing to do with Marianas Trench, but is a lot of the way Outkast used to put out stuff and how it just all connected, and I totally dig that. Where did you guys conceive this idea? Was it something you guys were just thinking, oh, this would be cool to put out, or how'd that come about?
Well, it's something that actually, even as soon as we'd put up the last record, within 6 months, we'd sort of come up with this idea. Josh threw it around. We really wanted to do something that was a strong theme for lots of reasons. One, you can get more creative with, videos and with your album artwork, but also like the stage show. And like, we want to be able to sort of take the whole experience up to like a different level than it's been for us. And even I think for a lot of people going to shows these days, some artists really have some wicked stuff going on. To like Katy Perry's done some cool stuff, and like these. I'm trying to think of the recent stuff, but almost more like a show, not just like a band playing sets. So at some point during this album, it's like, oh, we're hoping we can get to that level. And I think it'll be when we headline our first Canadian tour. We'll have a budget at that point to really put into it. But as an opening band in the States, it's just like, hey, we're going to play these songs as much as possible, and hopefully it builds like it did in Canada, and you can do this thing everywhere,
Right on. The last band, and you're talking about in this scene, last band that I saw that did a great storyline, album, and then did like a really cool arena tour that went with the whole theme was, I believe, when Panic at the Disco had done they did an arena tour that was, they had people on stages with like snakes and dancers, and it was cool. And that kind of reminded me of the music video that you guys have out now. It was refreshing because it wasn't just a band like in a park with random lights set up, and there was more to it, so it was really cool to see that with you guys. Now, you're talking about Josh and in the studio, how he's been working on all this stuff. You guys are definitely putting out big sounds. I've seen, some of the tour updates when you guys have choirs involved and you have just people come in playing different instruments. Like, that's different. Not a lot of people are taking, that much time or that much budget or whatever, to build something big. Is that all Josh, or is that, what's going on with that?
I don't know. It's sort of like just, if you got a vision, and the record label was very cool for giving us some leeway on what we could do. Like the opening track of the record is called Ever After, and it is this wicked song. It's actually my favorite song Josh has ever done and that we've ever put out. It's not a single because it's like 6.5 minutes long or something like that. But we actually used a 20-piece orchestra to play a bunch of string stuff in there, and it's just to get to do that alone is amazing. And be in the Warehouse studio in Vancouver, which is this amazing studio with this full string section, tracking this part, it was just like such a cool experience. And yeah, it's sort of like not just, I don't know, try not to limit it to the standard. We're going to have the drum, bass, guitar combination, and if we're really thinking outside the box, we'll throw a piano in there. It's like, no, let's just whatever the mind, we sort of put a demo together, and if it sounds like it's going to work, then let's fucking go for it.
Sweet. Yeah, man, listening to you guys, I've been listening to you guys for a while, and, whenever I describe you guys, it's hard to really, put my... to put any kind of bands and compare them up to other bands. I don't like to do that. But just like, a lot of the reviews I've heard and what some people say, there's tinges of Queen, tinges of Beach Boys, and, a lot of, the way you guys put together stuff. What do you guys listen to? What influences do you guys draw from?
Those two bands are big influences in it. That's one band you don't mind being compared to, Queen or Beach Boys, actually. Both of them are amazing. It's funny, we were in the studio doing that track, and it gets kind of wild, and then the conductor for the orchestra was like, dude, I don't want to be insulting, but this kind of reminds me of something Queen would do, and we're like, insulting? That's about as big a compliment as you could pay us.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for that. You just made our day even better.
Where can people catch, up to the minute, where can they catch all your new stuff at?
Tons of stuff on YouTube. Like, the newest video is on Vivo or YouTube. I actually really don't know what the difference is right now, but if you go to YouTube, it comes up in the Vivo section. So that's Haven't Had Enough. On iTunes, you can get everything, and I think if you get the pre-order, which should be happening, there's a song that comes right away called By Now, which is this sort of ballad big song. Where else do you get it? If you want to actually order a CD, you can get it from 604records.com. But I think they've already done all their pre-order limits because we did a couple hundred signed CDs, and they're gone early, so they actually crashed the website when we announced it. Our fans are pretty amazing, man. There's a place, I remember playing a New Year's Eve show in a town called Saskatoon, which is a 300,000 person city or something like that, and it was so cold out, the weather forecast actually described it as brutal cold, on the official website weather site. Meanwhile, in between sets of bands, these people are outside in like their mini skirts and like next to nothing, smoking cigarettes. I'm like, you guys are hardcore, man. Like,
that is crazy.
We're all Canadian, but they're a whole other level of Canadian. Them and the Newfoundlanders, so durable. It's like they're indestructible. I don't even think they realize how indestructible they are.
Oh man,
like, they don't realize how special it is.
In Miami, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, this area that I'm in, it'll get 75 and people bring out bubble jackets. It is the dumbest thing. This talks about the whole no season thing. We go into, it sounds weird, you go into meltdown mode, but really whenever it gets cold where you're not melting, people are just going crazy, and they won't go out to shows like that. So that's pretty crazy and pretty hardcore. But yeah, just kind of to wrap it up a little bit, you guys have been around for a while. It's been a definite grind. Nothing's been handed to you guys. What advice would you give to anybody coming up right now? Whether that be label advice, whether that be writing good songs, or how to promote yourself. What would you say to them?
That's funny. First of all, it's definitely been a grind, and the best part about that is you don't take any of your breaks for granted, and you don't take any of your fans for granted. I look at a band like, say, The Killers, where the first, I'm sure they were grinding it out way before that, but that first album came out and then sold like hotcakes, and it's such a quick rise that it's weird, and you also don't, I think, have that sort of true pyramid kind of foundation of your fan base. But for us, it's we really got to know as many of our fans as possible, and they become almost like a team, and they work so hard for us. So you really got to know your fans and give them something personal, Write the best songs you can, and then rewrite them and rewrite them and rewrite them as long as you're getting better, and never think the first version of the song is probably the best one, because it probably isn't. What else do you do? Promote in every single way possible. And it's funny because I used to always say that when I get this kind of question, saying to people, because you never know which one is going to catch on. And at the beginning for us it was MySpace, then that kind of became a little more obsolete, and then it's like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. But what's really interesting is we're on this US tour right now, and there are like tons of people coming out, relatively, like 100 people coming out to see Marianas Trench at this show. We're the opening band, and you're like, how did you guys hear about us? And Matt's been asking this question to people like, oh, I heard it on Pandora, or oh, I saw something on YouTube, or I saw you guys perform at the MMVAs, or I saw this, and it's just like, it's funny because it's really all of those things that are working, and it's not just one thing that did the whole progress for us or made all the stats. So really every single thing you can do, and you have no idea what's going to find you new fans.
Try to be everywhere.
Yeah, as much as you can. You can't spread yourself too thin because it starts to get impossible to keep up.
Exactly. You have 25 social networking things that you got to connect to every day. But anyway, Mike, I definitely appreciate it. We're looking forward to Ever After. I hope you guys have a great rest of this tour. I know you're on a little bit of a break from it, but a good rest of the tour. And I hope you guys kill it in sales. Go out and get that Marianas Trench Ever After. And thanks again so much, Mike.
Thank you, man.
Hey, what's up? It's Famous from TopSpotUSA.com. And if you like that interview and want more just like it, head on over to the TSUSA Radio section of TopSpotUSA.com for all the TSUSA Radio features. But if you're like me and live through your phone, just go get our app. It's on both iPhone and Android platforms. You get all the TSUSA Radio interviews and weekly shows right at your fingertips before they're even out on the site. If you want to ask your favorite artist questions, just simply follow us on Twitter at TopSpotUSA for the cue to ask.
TopSpotUSA.com